What's going on, everybody? Mortem here, this time bringing you 5 of my most embarrassing achievements. I like to 100% games, I do reviews after 100%, and while that does include more than the achievements, it does include the achievements if there are any. And while normally that's a fairly positive thing, there are nonetheless achievements for video games that can be rather embarrassing rather than celebratory. Now, while I wouldn't go so far as to say these are like the most embarrassing ones, they are 5 that are definitely on the list. As honestly, after a while, it gets hard to keep track of all the achievements you've got. So these are 5 that I dug up that I thought were embarrassing, or at the very least a little silly, and now we're going to share them with you. So first on our list, I've made a huge mistake on Tyranny. Now this is an interesting one, and it is from Tyranny's DLC. And basically, the crux of the achievement is that you have to find a missable weapon that is literally just a piece of meat, and then you have to critically miss with it in combat. Now, honestly, the hardest part of this achievement is getting the weapon, because you have to tackle the DLC in a very specific manner to even have the opportunity to get the weapon, and then you have to equip it on someone until they critically miss with it. And while Tyranny is a CRPG, so there isn't any real fantastic animation for it, it is nonetheless a silly achievement that I don't think anybody's going to be bragging about anytime soon. For number 4 on the list, we actually have No Show from Wasteland 3. Now this achievement is pretty straightforward. You basically have to die in the prologue. And Wasteland 3 is not a particularly difficult game, so I doubt many people would have gotten this achievement legitimately, so to speak, meaning that if you have the No Show achievement for Wasteland 3, chances are you very likely intentionally did so. Or you tried to play on the highest difficulty right off the bat and it didn't work out for you. One or the other. But nonetheless, Wasteland 3, No Show, died before you even made it to Colorado Springs, meaning you died in the tutorial. Third on our list, we have Spice of Life for Deathloop. Now this one was more funny than anything to me, but the Spice of Life achievement actually requires you to play as Colt and then die in every way it is possible to die in the game. That is to say, get shot, drown, die from lack of oxygen, get blown up, etc., etc. You just have to die every way it is possible to die, which is honestly pretty funny for an achievement. Now, next up on our list, we have our number 2 spot, and that is 1001 Deaths for the title Encased. Now, Encased is a fun kind of Fallout-inspired RPG that honestly takes inspiration from a few other things as well. But at the very beginning of Encased, in what is, again, kind of the tutorial, there are actually multiple ways to die. There's actually also a few achievements directly tied to dying in each of those ways in the tutorial, but 1001 Deaths requires you to seek out and find every way it is possible to die, short of just getting yourself killed by guards, in the prologue or Concord Station, as it's known, for Encased, which is honestly funny. This sees you get incinerated. This sees you get exploded as you try to leave the dome. This sees you jumping out of an elevator. This sees you crashing a car into a wall. And if you take too long, that can kill you too. So overall, just a culmination of a bunch of funny deaths that they added the tutorial for no real reason other than to have a laugh. So that brings us to our number 1 embarrassing achievement. And I hate to say it, but I got this one the intended way, meaning that I did something kind of dumb, and an achievement popped, and I went, oh, Jesus. So this is for Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous, and the achievement is Death by Column. So early in the game, in a location called the Tower of Estrad, it is possible to roll a column over a bunch of enemies. However, if you stand in front of that column when you click on it, it can and will roll over your party instead. And hitting your own party with that column awards the Death by Column achievement, which honestly I had a pretty good laugh about when it happened to me. But nonetheless, there you guys go. 5 embarrassing achievements that you could say I'm not exactly proud of. All of that said, though, I appreciate you watching the video. I certainly hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube jazz. But also, let me know down in the comments section below any embarrassing achievements you have personally attained. Provided, of course, you're not so embarrassed by the experience that you refuse to comment about it on this video. So, with all of that said, again, thank you so much. May you wander in wisdom and have an amazing day.